Hello everyone, welcome to the latest episode of the Bunker Podcast, Tuesday, March the 24th. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Michael McEwen. Big old episode today. We're going to be doing it slightly differently, if I'm honest. We're going to be doing something we haven't really done before, which is, obviously a bit of the take in the news, but looking at ways to make golf better. That's basically the theme of today's show, because whilst it's great, there's room for improvement. So let's bring him in. Lewis Fraser, our performance editor. No James Tate this week. James is unwell. Oh. James, it's not jet lag for a change. James has got, I don't know what, he got a sniffle or the flu or something. Anyway, James, get well soon. Thank you for not coming in and spreading the lurgy amongst us. We do not want that. But Lewis, hello. Welcome.
Hi,
How are
Michael. You? Yeah, good, thank you. Glad that James isn't here to spread his germs to us. That
Very
would be bad.
relieved.
It sounds bad. You were sending us updates and it sounds awful. Yeah, so I don't want that.
I'm not even going to get into what it was,
don't,
just in case anyone's eating at the moment or whatever it might be. But yes, James, not well. You, though, very well. You've had a good weekend, I see.
Brilliant weekend. So I was on the Isle of Arran for the first kind of golf trip, certainly non-work golf trip of the year. Played 36 holes on Friday, 36 holes on Saturday, and 36 on Sunday as well.
That makes 108 holes.
Good maths.
Thanks
that
much.
Took me significantly longer to work out how many holes it was. I was sitting on the ferry like 18, 36, and then 236 is 72, because that's what they do on tour, so I know that.
Yeah,
then
I got an A star at my hire, so
I got an
I was going to be
F.
fine.
Yes, I want to give a shout out to a golf ball that I played with for over 5 of those rounds, which was, this ball just refused to be lost. I think, so we played Macquarie Bay, which is a 9-holer, and it's really good fun. So we played that first, and I lost a couple of balls, like in the first loop there. We were just off the ferry and was tired and like just not playing well. But then put this, so it's a Wilson Staff Model X with the Track 360.
So it's like the little
alignment aid, and it was working well, to be fair. But
did the alignment aid make all the difference for you?
It clearly was making all the difference, yes. But I hit some awful shots of this thing, and it kept appearing. So my friend Alistair is a really good player. We were walking, so we played at Brodick, and at Brodick, the first tee, you can basically just aim as far right as you want. And I did that. And at the top of my backswing, thought that's going way too far right. I need to adjust a little bit, and then hit it. I thought I'd hit it out of bounds onto the road through the centre of Brodick. Got up there, Alistair walks up and sees it like sitting in a bush, like just must have been like a matter of feet inbounds. Thought, great, scooped it out, took a drop. Then at Shiskin, which was actually the day before, Shiskin, again, people who've played there will know the whole golf course to the right. Did the same thing and pulled it, and it hit the boundary fence, came back in. Whiting Bay, I'd given up on it, genuinely. It was across a burn, like plugged, and I could see the little Track 360 line looking at me. And this was like the last round of the day. It's been like 4 or 5 holes left. And I was like, I can't jump over that burn to get to it, because I'm going to like break my leg and something stupid will happen. And Alistair is much more athletic than me. He was like, no, I'll jump over and get it. Went over, got it, picked it up. Sure enough, it was mine. And I was like, what do I do now? He's like, we're playing a match here. Like, go back to the tee, hit your third from there, because there's no one behind us. It was only like a 150-yard hole. Hit it, and I'm not kidding, it must have been, I thought it was coming up way short of where Alistair was standing, and it must have pitched like a couple of yards away from him. It's like, what are you doing? Like, I've just got your golf ball and you've nearly killed me with it. So the
unlosable golf ball, that's basically the tagline that Wilson Staff Model X have.
I'm now in a bit of a dilemma, because it's getting towards like competition season. I'm thinking, this ball, it's not a criticism of the ball, because it's played about 100 holes, but it's a bit beaten up, hit.
It's been used.
It's been well used, and it's still fine, but...
Lewis, don't change it.
Yeah, do you think...
Don't change it. No, don't change it.
Do you see my dilemma here?
Well, no, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't care how badly beaten up this thing is. It clearly wants to be a part of you.
Yeah, it does.
It wants to be with you. Don't turn your back on it.
Okay.
When something, or somebody, even for that matter, wants you, lean in embrace them.
Wow.
You've found something that works.
That's great advice.
I think so too.
Yep. Okay, well, that's
So stick
decided.
to it. Well,
I'm going to stick with it for as long
I'm
as-
glad you had a good time in
as long as it
Arran. It
wants to
sounds like
stick round.
fun.
Yeah,
It's a
brilliant
wonderful
fun.
island. Great golf over there, and much more besides, which we'll maybe save for another time. Because I dare say you got stuck into that. Listen, we're in Dundee today. I need to make a bit of a, I don't know if it's a plea or a PSA or whatever this is. Have you seen the size of the seagulls in this town?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh my God. I've noticed it a few times. We've been coming up here, obviously, since January to record the podcast, and the walk from the train station to the office, 10 minutes max. I swear to God, these cannot be, these are emus. They are not seagulls. These things are gigantic and they look muscular as well. Like, these seagulls are hench.
I don't know if
They are gigantic.
people won't be able to hear this, but honestly, outside the window
One of them
right
just
now,
said something.
you can hear them like yapping
And
away
I'm
as
pretty
they
certain
do.
it was a threat.
A threat to you.
100%.
You call
There was
me
a
fat,
guy-
Michael McEwen.
Not at all. Like, these things are like the Rock of birds. You know, it's like John Cena but if you had feathers. And there's a guy down there in the town centre when I was walking up who was throwing bread out to them and feeding them. Don't feed them.
No.
Unless this
They don't
bread
need that.
is laced with Manjaro, just stop feeding them. They are the scariest looking creatures I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So if you ever come to Dundee, or if you're from Dundee and you have seen the seagulls, hopefully you'll know what I'm talking about. I think it's something that Dundee City Council really needs to look at. These things are going to take over.
Jesus.
Everyone's worried about robots and AI taking over. No, it is the Dundee seagulls.
seagulls.
One gull at a time.
Oh my goodness.
Terrifying.
Well, I've not noticed that, but I'm going to notice it now. Now that
course
you've
you will.
mentioned it, walking back to the train station.
How can
in
you
a couple
possibly
hours.
miss them?
I don't know. Maybe.
They're huge.
Right, okay.
Scariest things I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Anyway, Lewis,
That's
let's talk
concerning.
golf.
Yeah,
Let's
please. I don't want to know that.
I feel like honestly, I feel like they're all around.
In here.
Yeah. Anyway,
Or
golf.
It could be if they wanted to.
There's
smash that
there's
window
lots
over
we
there.
need to discuss. Like
Yeah,
the Masters is coming up. We've always had some good golf at the weekend as well. Let's start there. But let's start with, how can I frame this? There's no delicate way of putting this. We want to make golf better. Like I said at the top of the show, golf, and I'm going to die on this hill, golf is the greatest sport there is. For reasons I don't even feel the need to get into, because if you're listening to this, it's presumably because you like golf. And so you'll probably agree that it's pretty good. Football, also great. Rugby, NFL, tennis, name something, swimming, all great sports. Cricket, I draw the line at, as we know.
Yeah,
but even though I think golf is the best of the lot, there is still a lot of room for improvement. Now, this segue comes courtesy of the Valspar Championship at the weekend, won by Matt Fitzpatrick. I'm so disappointed James isn't here to butcher his name. Matt Fitzpatrick. Throwing an Invisalign and it makes it even worse. But yeah, Matt Fitzpatrick won the Valspar at the weekend. Great bounce back win from his disappointment at the Players a week earlier. But the win has almost been overshadowed by the glacial pace of his playing partner in the final round. Bear with me here. I'm going to try and get this right. Adrien Dumont de Chassart.
I think that's pretty good.
From now on, to referred to as Adrien. There's no doubt about it, Lewis. I don't know how much of this you saw, but he was taking a long old time, and Matt was getting frazzled.
Irate.
Yes.
Understandably so.
And I believe at one point he spoke to a rules official who subsequently warned Adrien about his pace. 3 minutes to play shots at various times. I get it. There's not much. It's hard to play fast when you're hitting it all over the joint, as he was at times in that round. Mm-hmm. But that has just crystallised once again that one of the things that golf really needs to do, one of the ways we can make golf better, is to crack down harder and more consistently on slow play. Would you agree?
Oh, of course I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I didn't get to watch much of the golf over the weekend, like say in Arran, but saw...
Because you were too busy spooning your Wilson ball.
I was trying to lose it, is what I was doing. But yes.
It's like the reverse Castaway.
Yeah.
Wilson! Except you're going, oh, there's Wilson.
Yeah, there's. Yeah, I don't know why I was looking. So, yes, it's very true. Where was? Yeah, slow play. Exactly. I think it's... Yeah, like I say, I didn't see it, but saw clips, and it's a shame that the clips that we're seeing, or the coverage that we're seeing around it, is about the slow play rather than Matt's great win and holing a really good putt on the last, and you can see how much that meant to him. I think, firstly, like, fair play to Fitzpatrick for calling this out.
Very much
because we've been in winners' press conferences, and usually they're not the most exciting things because the guys aren't wanting to say anything controversial.
And they're knackered. They've got nothing to say.
They're exhausted. And, like, what can you... Yeah,
very pleased.
Yeah.
It's been coming for a while. Hopefully it's the first of many. Job done.
I'm delighted. Yeah. Everyone says well done. No one goes into one of these press conferences as a journalist and wants to ask, like, difficult questions, because the guy's just done something incredible. In this case, he could have said, like, whatever about the question about slow plays. It wasn't an issue. I wasn't bothered.
It's done now.
But he went on quite an impassioned kind of speech about it and saying this is, like you say, frustrating for him. It got to him during the round. He said that put him out of his rhythm for 2 or 3 holes and made it more difficult to win the event. That's the most frustrating thing, is that when you're playing with someone who's slow, and we've all been there, no matter what level of golf you're playing at, you could be playing with one of your mates who's a slow golfer. You could even be stuck behind someone who's a slow player. It doesn't put them off, but it puts you off. You're the one getting penalised in a way, not them. You're getting penalised because it makes it difficult to shoot a good score. So we do need to, the professional golf needs to do something about this, because it does put people off watching. When you're either at an event or watching it on TV and it just slows everything down, like, God, people's attention spans these days are absolutely ruined for various reasons. That doesn't help if guys are taking more than a couple of minutes.
What do they do about it? Because this isn't a new problem. We're still talking about this like 20 years after I remember this being a topic of conversation 22 years ago when I started at Bunkered. People were talking then about pace of play and how do we make people move faster. I'm sure they were talking about it for 22 years before that and 22 years before that. This isn't a new phenomena, is the point. So, one, what do we do now to fix it? And two, do we really think there's any appetite from the tours to fix it? Because if there was, wouldn't have done it by now.
Well, I think there should be an appetite, and I think if things like this keep happening, there will be. It's not a great look for them if a tournament winner is coming out in the winners conference and the headlines are about slow play and them complaining about that and saying that that's a problem. So that's why I'm saying good on Fitzpatrick for doing that, because it might bring it to the tour's agenda and say, actually, we do need to fix something here. Interesting, I was looking at this, and back in sort of this time last year, it was Jay Monaghan doing his State of the Nation kind of speech that PGA Tour commissioners do. And he said at the time that they were certainly looking at publishing in the same way that you would look at who hits the ball the furthest or who is the best putter on tour. They were going to publish average time taken per shot.
Like a league table for pace.
Yeah, exactly. The tour keep this information. We don't know to what extent that is, whether it's a couple of shots around, whether it's every shot.
But they've got data,
But they have some sort of data.
And they've still not published that table.
That's not been published, as far as I can see. I was looking for it, so if they have, then I've missed it and I hold my hands up. But
I've not seen it.
For looking for 20 minutes before they were doing this, I couldn't find that. That would be a start, because no one would want to see their name at the bottom of that list or the top of that list as taking the longest to hit a wedge shot into a par 5 or whatever it is. So I think that is part of a solution. Then you're going to have to bear with me on this, but I think the rules kind of make it tricky, I think. No, hear me out. So at the moment, for virtually every shot that a player hits, you get 40 seconds allocated time. You get 50 seconds if you're like the first to play on a par 3, for example, which makes sense that you get extra bit of time because you might be hitting a 7-iron or an 8-iron. If it's a par 5, you're probably hitting a driver and you know what you're doing. But I think that time is probably about right, but it's also fairly short in the sense that if you're on the PGA Tour and you get up to your ball and the timer starts immediately, if you take, say, 45 seconds, it's not like a weirdly long time to be taken. You're not going to get called out for it. But if you take 3 minutes or even 2 minutes or anything over a minute, and do that consistently, then it's going to become a problem, right? Whereas if you're taking like 45 seconds, you're never going to get penalised for that ever, because that's normal. For me, I think the PGA Tour should look into doing like, it's like a local rule where they actually make the time that you have longer, but if you go over that, then you just get penalised like straight away, unless there's some sort of like mitigating circumstance. So if a child starts crying when you're standing over the ball and you're getting to say they made it 60 seconds. I don't know if that's the perfect time, but 60 seconds for every shot, and it gets to like 50 and then a dog starts barking or something. But at the moment, I feel like rules officials are probably like, if you penalise someone for taking 50 seconds on a shot that should take them 40 seconds, you'd be handing out penalties left, right and centre. And nobody wants that to happen, especially not... Well, good,
but
yeah.
But that's the part
just
I
not
don't
going to
understand,
happen.
though. It's like
this is the thing that's not going to happen.
Why not?
Because the Tour don't and probably can't enforce that as...
Why can't they? That tour was able... We now know it's turned itself into a for-profit. That tour is rolling in cash.
Yeah.
There's no reason at all why it can't have a rules official walking with every group with a stop clock.
Mm-hmm.
2 if they need to.
Yeah.
It's perfectly enforceable. Enforcing pace is perfectly enforceable if you want to.
Yeah.
And imposing penalties for people who breach the rules that they're all completely aware of is also enforceable.
Yep. I just don't think they're going to do... Well, they're not
They're
doing
clearly
that.
not, because if they were, they'd be doing it by now and doing it every week.
Yep.
So I come back to it. Why are they not doing this?
Yeah.
It's because they're weak.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. This is weakness on the part of people who are administering the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could be really cynical and say that the longer a tournament takes, because players are, taking forever to get round, that extends the broadcast window.
Sure.
So maybe there's something in that. A broadcast window that's meant to run to 4 hours might run to 4.5.
Cool.
Unless broadcasters turn around and start complaining, I don't see the tour want to do much about that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It could be that. I also just think they're just so blind to the problem.
Mm.
They just don't seem to recognise it as a problem. To some extent they do, because they've got a rule there, like, well, that's how much time it's meant to take, this is how quickly you should play. But when people fall foul of it, it's almost as if they go, well.
Yeah, well, this is the thing.
At least you tried.
People don't get penalised for
effort.
it, ever.
Yeah.
No, like, when was the last time someone got penalised for slow play? It was
the last one I can think of was the 14-year-old Chinese amateur at the Masters.
And
that's up to the Masters to administer. I can't remember people getting too many proper penalties for slow play on the tour. You get bad times, and that's the other thing. Like, slow players are smart.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They know exactly how to game this system.
Mm-hmm.
They know that if they get put on the clock or they're given a warning or a bad time, they know how to move faster. It's perfectly within their gift to move faster. And then they'll slow back down and creep back up and slow back down. Happens all the time. But when you see footage like we saw a couple of years ago of Patrick Cantlay taking, 2.5 minutes? Someone was filming somebody else standing behind Cantlay. This guy had his phone and had set the stopwatch on it from when Cantlay arrived at his ball. Someone else was filming the stopwatch, and it was like 2.5, 3 minutes before Cantlay took a swing. That's absolutely, and it wasn't like there was a rules query or anything unmitigated.
He wasn't
about
like
it.
behind a tree or something and like
it's
waiting.
A fairly straightforward shot. So I just get so frustrated with it, because this does feel like a really solvable problem if the tours want to solve it.
Yeah.
We got all excited and gave the DP World Tour rightly, and Keith Pelley rightly, a pat in the back for introducing the shot clock Masters, and we all said, at least they're trying something. Yeah. No slow player, and every golfer knows if they're slow or not, no slow player was ever going to play in the shot clock Masters. Do you know why? Because they're slow, and they know it.
And they wouldn't do well because they'd get penalised every single shot.
So the shot clock Masters, that's a perfectly good theory. It also goes to prove the point I made earlier, that this is enforceable.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not saying that we should be having buggies with stop clocks at every tour event or at Augusta National, but by the same token, why not?
Yeah, I don't know.
Otherwise, we just have to say, slow play, it's a problem, nothing we're going to do about it. It's not that we can't do anything about it, it's just we don't see it as something we want to deal with.
It's true. It's in the rules as well. It's not guidelines. This is the thing, like, people might think, 40 or 50 seconds. That's like what you should be doing. It's not that. It's the same way. It's in the rules in the same way that this is how you take a drop from a penalty area, or this is how you mark your ball, or you're not allowed to tee up in front of the tee markers because that's a penalty.
This isn't a nice to have.
No.
This is very clearly a rule of the game, and last I checked, we're all meant to adhere to the rules.
Yeah,
so.
but this is the thing. Like you say, I just hope that someone actually gets penalised shots for it.
Not money, pointless, waste of time.
For these guys, if you get penalised, I don't know, like 20 grand, like it doesn't make a difference because a shot is worth more than
Correct.
that. So at this point, if someone does get penalised for it, like I really hope that would act as a deterrent and people think, oh, like God, they're actually doing something about this now, and just set an example for it, and that is that. But yeah, like going back to my point about the timings, I think the tour's just like scared to do that at the moment because
scared of what?
Players getting like upset with them.
It's the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
If, for example, in this instance, Adrien Demond de Chassart was so upset with the PGA Tour that he boycotted it, I think the tour will be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to take an awful lot of players to kick up a massive stink in order for the tour to just back away from it.
I agree.
The thing is, the tour hasn't even come to that point yet.
Yeah.
It's just like,
the thing is, again, there's that, but then there's also, if he said, well, yeah, I took a long time here because of X, Y, and Z, but the guy over in the other fairway was doing the same, so you're going to penalise him. And then all of a sudden it's he said, she said, and you're penalising the whole field. Now, I get what you're saying. That should be happening if they're breaking the rules. But the tour don't want to do that because then it could become silly in that, well, you're assessing like 6 penalty shots to Matt Fitzpatrick because he's taken 41
but within
seconds.
the rules.
Within the rules,
silly,
absolutely, yeah.
But better for the viewer.
Yes.
Silly, but a better entertainment product.
It would certainly speed
Silly,
people up.
but better for the players who play fast.
Yeah.
So there's not a single argument that I feel anyone can make to me about slow play that's going to make me go, you're right. It's fine. It's maybe not as big as a problem as I thought. Find them. Don't find them. Hit them with shots. Do not find them. You know what else? I really think. Again, I don't think this would happen. I'm sure there's reasons why it couldn't, but in my head, it makes a lot of sense.
God, what on earth is this going to be?
For repeat offenders, the next event you play in, you must go logo free.
Right.
No baseball cap.
I didn't see that coming.
No baseball cap. Wow. Nothing for your sponsors. All of a sudden, the value of, I don't know, let's say a DeWalt sponsorship for Patrick Cantlay goes down because they're not getting their logo seen by anyone.
Wow, never thought of that.
It also makes you look very clearly, why is he not wearing logos? Because he's slow, he's being punished. It's a little bit like Game of Thrones when the woman's walking around with the bells shouting shame. Which, by the way,
do that as well.
Is the next stage.
Right. If it happens 2 tournaments in a row, you get someone walking around with a bell shouting shame.
Everybody in golf agrees that slow play is a problem.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie, I'm sick of talking about it because nothing is happening to fix it. I can't change it. I'm just a podcaster / journalist. I can't do much about it other than jump on this and moan, but that's as far as my influence extends. The RNA, the USGA, the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, LIV, LPGA, LAT, the people in charge of running these organisations, it's within their gift. It's their event. Enforce the rules. Make it better. Oh, Lewis, you triggered me.
Sorry.
It's those seagulls, man. Honestly, they really put me on edge.
Get the seagulls into the events.
Yes.
If you take more than 40 seconds, you're setting the Dundee seagulls on you.
A Dundee seagull on every tee.
Every tee box.
People would move fast then.
Yeah, I bet. That sounds like it.
That'd get you moving.
Jesus, it would put you off as well, though. The noise.
So slow play.
As you're talking about that, I can still hear them outside.
Better than the guy shouting light the candle.
Well, yeah, that's...
What's better? Light the candle or
squawk. Absolutely squawk. I hear squawk every time. No one shouts light the candle after my tee shots, that's for sure.
So that's got us thinking, you know, there's, as I said at the top of this segment, there's things about golf that we'd like to improve. What could we improve? How could we improve it? So, Lewis, what have you got for me? What other things can we do to make this brilliant game that much better?
Me started. Look, on the professional side of things, I think there's a few things. For me, like, talk about strategic alliance between PGA Tour and DP World Tour.
Those two words should just be put in the sea.
Yeah, I know, but I think that, it should be one of the things that I would do to actually make that a strategic alliance is have people like Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele and Colin Morikawa, whoever else, be required to go and play a DP World Tour event that isn't co-sanctioned. So let's say, actually, Batia is a really good example of this week in that he's playing at the Indian Open. Now, I don't know if you've seen, but the golf course there's some bunkers that have like...
Don't. Next, you'll be telling me that Dubai looked very different 30 years ago.
Yeah, shock. And they put loads of buildings up and look at the difference.
But you're right, actually, yeah, okay. He's done that off his own back. Good
Imagine how cool it would be.
Or because a sponsor's paid him.
Yeah, there's that. I get it, obviously, but it's a good example for this week. If Scotty Scheffler went and played the KLM Open in the Netherlands, how cool would that be? Like, these guys hardly ever play outside unless you're on live, which is a totally different argument. But you're someone like Scheffler, you play pretty much all your golf in the USA. You come over to play the Scottish Open because it's part of the PGA Tour circuit. You then play the Open here. And then, for the most part, you're playing in the USA again, apart from maybe, like, if he's playing Genesis in Asia.
Basically, you want PGA Tour players to play outside America a little bit more. Okay, I'm with you.
If you finish at a certain point in FedEx
and you think
Cup,
they should be obligated, sorry.
Yes, exactly
okay,
that,
right.
yeah. I think the PGA Tour should say, in the same way that this does not get enforced in the signature events, but there is like, you're obligated to play a certain number of them.
Listen,
you have to go.
I like the principle. I think most people listening will be nodding and saying that's good in theory. But if you can't make them move faster, how are you going to get them to move to a different country for the week?
I don't know.
So...
yeah, it would be good though, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. Listen, I've got a list.
Right.
You won't be surprised to learn.
I'm not surprised.
I've actually expanded upon this in my latest newsletter as well.
Yes.
The Monday Finish, plug. So, straight away, we know, if you're a regular listener, you know there's some things that I would get rid of in order to improve the game. Iron head covers, white belts, castle tees. By the way, the castle tees thing isn't just a... That's not just my inner snob coming out. There is enough plastic in the world, okay? We've got enough unnecessary plastic in the world. Let's not create more in an attempt to fix a problem that just doesn't exist.
Michael,
those wooden pegs, they're fine.
The world's absolutely knackered as it is. The pink plastic tees aren't making a difference. But I agree with the iron head covers and the white belts. Get rid of them.
I'm also throwing in gender-specific tees. Just play from wherever you want.
Yeah.
When you go to a club and they're like, oh, no, you can't play off the back. No, sod it. If I want to play that course at 7,600 yards, that's my mistake.
Slow play would be 100%. An issue.
Speaking of golf clubs, do away with designated parking spaces for club captains. How many times have you driven into a golf club on a Saturday or a Sunday? The car park is absolutely stowed, and you see this one empty space pretty close to the door, and you're like, oh, brilliant. You drive up and it says, seniors captain. Like, no, not a chance. Park
I love
somewhere
the ones
else.
where it's like ridiculous, like on the committee, and it gets like greens convener, not even the greens keeper, assistant greens convener, assistant whatever else. You're like, this is ridiculous now. We've got a dozen parking spaces just not being taken up.
Yes.
I'm
also doing away with music on the golf course.
I completely agree.
You know, you get like, invariably at some point in a year, you'll play golf and someone will show up with a Bluetooth speaker. Like, do you mind if I stick on some tunes? Actually, I do.
Yes.
I am trying to focus.
Yeah.
I'm about to take dead aim. It's 175 yards. I've started really well. I do not need to hear Dua Lipa banging on about Houdini. Just save it for the car ride home.
Do like Dua Lipa, but yeah, not on the golf course. Agree with that.
I also think, and this is probably going to trigger a few people, see this tradition, in inverted commas, of having to buy a round of drinks or a bottle of whiskey to stick in the bar when you have a hole-in-one.
Yeah.
Why?
Get rid of it.
Why should I be punished for getting very lucky?
Yeah, I know.
This whole thing of, oh, it's nice to share the fortune. No, it's not. I shouldn't have to remortgage just because I canned one on the par 3 seconds.
See, I think there's a bit of a compromise to be made here. I would happily buy drinks for people in my group that I'm playing with.
Of course.
Because then that's 3 others, fine. But if you're playing the club championship and there's 200 other people and they all want a pint, I don't have the facility for that. That's not going to happen. That's £800 that I don't want to spend because I've made a one. It's ridiculous.
And it's just some random you've never met.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to walk into...
No.
I
down
don't know.
Sauchiehall Street into a pub and
Like,
buy a round
name
for
a pub.
everyone.
I'm not going to go into like the Slug and Lettuce and go, everyone here want a drink?
Definitely not in there.
Or not that I'd go to Weatherspoons because the toilets are in a different postcode,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? No one goes
Yeah,
into
I
a
do
bar
know
and
what you
says,
mean.
I'll get you all a drink.
Aye,
So why
unless
should I
you're
do it
like-
in a clubhouse just because I've thinned one right off the flag stick and it drops in?
What if
Just
it's a really
nonsense.
good shot and you've actually meant it and you've like spun a
Still
wedge back
no.
into the hole? Still no.
Still
Does that
no.
make it more like reasonable to do that? If you hit a really bad shot, are you less likely to want to do it?
I just don't like buying people that I don't know drinks.
Stingy. Yeah, okay, fair. Yeah.
I'm also going to say the people who say one when you accidentally knock your ball off the tee, and I think everyone has done both here. Everyone has accidentally knocked their ball off a tee, and everyone has said, huh, one. Well, let me hit you with some facts.
Go on.
It's not one.
Yeah.
Not according to Rule 6.2b brackets 5,
Well, you're in my rules seminar. That's a good one, that. Yeah.
which says the ball isn't in play until there's been an actual swing put on it.
Correct. Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So that's a starter for 10.
Yeah,
Lewis.
that's a starter. I think the one thing.
Oh, starters. They can go as well.
Starters.
I've just shown up at a golf club. I've paid a
Yeah.
lot of money to be there.
Especially
I've been
if there's
looking
a
forward
starter
to
there.
it.
It's probably quite
And
posh.
I'm cold. I'm nervous. I don't like strangers watch me play golf much anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing I need is some total stranger silently judging everything about my very first shot of the day. Come
Yep.
and see the one on 18 if you want me.
Yeah, you're
by
warmed
all
up by
means.
then. Yeah.
Finisher.
Uh-huh.
Let's call him that. But I don't
That'd
need...
be good.
be
Someone gets you
better.
at 18th green. Did you enjoy your round? That was great, wasn't it? How'd you get on 12? Tricky. I don't know what the greenskeeper was doing there. Must have got, come and, just round that side of the clubhouse. Go and get a pint in there. Great.
Like your very
That's a
first
good
shot
idea.
of the day.
Yeah.
Someone stand there's like, by the way, the line is, I know what the line is. I can
Yeah.
see the hole in front of me.
Yeah. Was
And if I
looking at
don't,
it last night.
I'm just going to try and hit it down the middle anyway. He's like, yeah, it's just, there you go. Right, there you are. And see when you don't hit a good shot.
I know.
The silence
You want, oh,
is
God.
deafening.
Enjoy your round, gentlemen.
Enjoy your round.
God, I've just topped
Worse-
it 40
worse
yards.
yet. Oh, you'll find that. Day ruined.
That goes for any golfer saying that you'll fight, because it's not a good shot if you're saying you'll find that.
it.
Invariably,
So passive-aggressive,
you
isn't
actually,
it?
a lot of the time, someone will say you'll find that because it's heading towards a bush, and then you won't find it. That's worse.
Unless it's a Wilson Staff Model X, apparently.
Model X, the Track 360 technology on it. Yes. Oh God.
Caveat: I do want to be a starter when I'm older. Like when
Do
I
you reckon?
retire,
Yeah.
that's the job for
That
me.
would be a good, because so you can do the judging.
Correct.
Yeah. I think with a starter, you get to
Massive hypocrite, I really am, but I don't care.
you get to say, I used to have this like caddying as well, and you'd get a different, just a starter, it's to an extreme level because you're speaking to a different person or a different group every 10 minutes. With my caddying, used to be a caddy up at Castle Stewart, and you'd have a different golfer every day. So it's the same patter every single hole. Like you'd get to like the fourth, and you'd be like, right, if you want any photos of the castle, you need to do it here so you don't see it the rest of the day, yada, yada, yada. With a starter, you can do that every 10 minutes. Like,
Amazing.
yeah, aye, fantastic.
Think of the
You'd
nonsense
revel
you
in
can
that.
tell people. And you can influence how somebody. That's the job for me. That
Yeah.
and Zamboni driver for sure. But
The ice rink.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be a great gig.
Greenkeeper there. Ice keeper.
You've got a thing in what is it? A bee in your bonnet. That's the expression I'm looking for about amateurs needing to set a rules exam.
Yeah.
Explain.
So, well, I'm enlightened now to the rules of golf after my course in St Andrews I did a few weeks back, and it's kind of shown me that as a collective, amateur golfers and a lot of professionals as well do not know the rules to even like a basic level at all. Now, in pros, it's kind of fine because you can say, can I get a rules official to the 7th green, and they'll go and they'll get a ruling, right? On like the most basic stuff, there'll be a sprinkler head there and they'll still get a rules official in, which I get 'cause you're on TV. When you're on like the 12th fairway in the club championship, you can't do that. But the amount of times that people just don't know what they're doing, I would include myself in that, like as a junior golfer. God, the amount of rules that would have got broken in junior opens that I'd have played in my group, not willingly, just complete ignorance to
Yeah.
what's going on. penalty areas, not knowing what you're supposed to do, taking drops. Like, what else?
White stakes, red stakes.
Yeah,
yellow stakes.
Are you allowed to move this white stake? Are you allowed to get a drop from a boundary fence? Can you get relief from embedded balls off the fairway, on the fairway, yada, yada, yada. And people are going and playing, like, I'm not saying it's like meaningful golf, but you might get a voucher for £100 at the end of it, going out and they don't know what they're doing. I think in the same way that you pass a driving test to be able to go out on the road to drive a car. I'm not saying that golf's the same level as that. But
no, in a car you can kill people.
Yeah, you can. On a golf course, I nearly killed my friend Alistair because I didn't shout 4 on Sunday.
It's just bad etiquette.
That was just really bad. I know, I should have. I thought it was coming up way short. I clubbed down from the first one, which got me into the situation. Still, clearly the sprint back to the tee awoken some muscles.
So you think an actual, a written exam is the way to go?
Maybe not written, but like a court,
like a theory test.
A theory test, or like you join the club, and if you've done it like once, then fine, like you're exempt for the rest of your days. But if you're joining a new club, say right, okay, I see where you're going to go. So let me finish. If you're joining like a new club and you're entering a medal, you say, have you done this like seminar for an hour, whatever? Like you go through the rules of golf, and if you say no, you need to go and sit that before you're allowed to go out and put a score in that might get your name on the board in the clubhouse, and turns out you've actually taken a dodgy drop in the last because you didn't know the difference between a yellow and red stake. So I would enforce that at that level.
I'm not against the idea of having to do some kind of exam or rules seminar or something like that. I do think it's a very, very quick way to shrink the game.
Sorry.
Imagine that's your entry point to golf. It's like,
yeah, but
you can now hit a
golf.
ball. By the way, you now also need to set a test. I think most people clue themselves up on the rules as they go.
I don't know if they do, but yeah, I think
they do. Like the idea of sitting. I do this in Germany, by the way.
Yeah,
you have to sit a
that's
written
what's
exam.
inspired me.
But when you said there that you do it once and that's you done for the rest of your days, not a chance.
How
One,
often are you
the
resetting
rules
it?
change often.
Yeah, true.
2, when you get older, I think you take some liberties.
What, in everything? Or just
absolutely everything. I think.
Go on, give me an example.
So I'm going to use your example of driving.
Yeah, great point. Yeah.
My wife's grandmother, bless her, she's gone now. She was still driving, approaching her 90th birthday.
Yeah.
She sat her test round about the time that Ben Hogan was winning majors. And again, cars have changed a lot in that time. Roads have changed a lot in that time. Society and pedestrian behaviour has changed a lot in that time.
Yes.
Do you know what hasn't changed? Her right to drive a car around it all.
Yeah.
And yeah, she just became a little bit of a, what's the word? Liability.
Yeah.
Both to her insurers and her family. So
I tell you what, though, I bet the insurers are charging her less than what I get charged as a bloke in his mid-20s driving about. This is, going complete tangent here, but you're right. Yeah, grandparents.
I feel like, let's say you hit a certain age, let's say 60.
Yeah.
And you want to continue to be a member of a golf club, it's okay to have a rules refresher.
Yeah, a refresher. Yeah, I'm not saying you need to sit and it be
and it shouldn't be a case of if you fail, you're out. You just have to sit it again.
I don't even know if you need to do it. Just sit in like a lecture theatre and...
Why are you taking golfers to lecture theatres?
Because you can fit more in.
You're making this worse.
You can fit more golfers in.
Do you know where you can fit an unlimited number of golfers?
Where?
Zoom. Teams.
You want to get golf club do you know what the demographic of most golf clubs is? You want them to join a Teams meeting? Michael.
I don't think this is enforceable.
No, it isn't, but it's a nice idea.
It's a nice idea.
Yeah.
So, listen, Lewis and I have got a bunch of different ways that we would improve this game.
Yeah.
Some of them we're more serious about than others. I'm absolutely adamant that Dundee Seagulls on the tee at the Scottish Open or whatever.
The Houston Open.
I tell
Fly
you what,
them out.
Adrian Demond de Chassart would have played so much faster at Innisbrook if we'd just exported some Dundee Seagulls.
Yeah. Okay.
Matt Fitzpatrick would not have needed to complain.
Brian Rolap, if you're listening.
Exactly. But let us know your thoughts. What would you change about the game? What would you improve? What would you eliminate? Etc. to make it that little bit better. I would love to hear your thoughts. At The Bunkered Pod, DM us on Twitter. Facebook.com/The Bunkered Podcast or letters@bunkered.co.uk. Write us a letter in the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Right, Lewis, before the break, very quickly asked and answered. If the answer is, let me get this right.
Go on.
$21,595,564.
Well done.
$21,595,564. Then what is the question? You can have a wee think about that. We've got some answers, as always, from our social media followers. David Birtles, this is amazing.
Go on.
How much will a beer cost at the Open in 10 years' time?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Also, can we get a bit more variety of the beers at the Open?
Oh, God.
It was Singer last year, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I like Singer, but
you need to
want
have
something else,
a
don't you?
Jalfrezi with it.
yeah. I had a Guinness at the last Open, which was great. But again, like going to the point, it was expensive. It was like...
You expense it, aye?
Well, no, I didn't actually. What was it? Maybe I'm doing them a disservice. It was obviously like...
it
probably
wasn't
was.
cheap, I think
It wasn't
is the point.
cheap, yeah.
Mark L. Is it the amount of money I've spent on new equipment since promising myself 5 years ago I was going to persevere with what I had and just practice more?
Sorry about that. It's our
Mark,
fault.
you are keeping the wheels of industry spinning, my man.
Keep it going.
Craig Meikle, how much Gary Player claims he would have won from his major wins. Yeah.
If he was
Every
playing now,
chance.
he would have won more than that for sure.
You know, I think Gary's fine for cash.
Yeah, I think he's doing all right.
He's well into his 90s. He's living the dream.
I'd
Jamie
say so.
Scott, how much does it cost to go and support Scotland at the World Cup this year?
Ah, God, you're telling me, Jamie.
doing it?
Jesus, I'm doing it. Yeah, going to the Haiti. Well, flying out for the Haiti game. Haven't got tickets yet.
Are you
so-
still in four figures?
Oh, yeah, it's not
Good.
5 figures. Jesus, how much do you think they pay me here to do this? Not that much.
Don't shatter the fourth wall.
Sorry.
SEB27 is it, this is amazing. Is it how much Trump has imposed in tariffs for Rory's Masters menu ingredients?
It's good.
Oh, that is sensational. Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
Sean McCluskey. When I asked my wife to turn the heating off to save money on our gas bill, how much does she accuse me of spending on golf every month? Cameron, a couple more. Cameron, right. If Monty was paid £1 per word in his interview with Lewis, how much would he have made? That's superb.
I was
We were talking
giggling
about
at that
last
this
week,
morning.
weren't we?
Yeah, so funny. Monty, just brilliant. If you weren't listening last week, we were talking. I can't remember why we started talking about Monty, but
why not?
Yeah, why not? It's always a good reason to talk about Monty. And I say an interview. It wasn't an interview. You just spoke to me for 45 minutes.
It was a monologue.
It was a monologue. I said, hello, Colin, I want to ask you about the Masters. And then he spoke for 45 minutes, and that was that. Got through all the topics.
Cameron's probably not far
Probably
off.
pretty close to that, yeah.
And Graham Marr also probably not far off in this. How much has Tyrrell Hatton had to pay in fines for swearing on a golf course? Yeah, sadly, none of those are the answer I'm looking for. Lewis, what do you have?
Is it how much does the Masters shop make in its first hour of business each
From
year?
me.
From you specifically.
From me specifically.
Yes.
You're probably not far off, to be fair.
For the week, it must be. I wouldn't be
It's north of
surprised if
that.
it got north.
For the week, it's
really?
north, 100% north,
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
without doubt.
God. Just for you.
Shh, my wife listens. No,
No, not
you
that.
and all of the listeners are wrong. I will reveal the correct question the other side of this commercial break, where we will also, stick around, we will also be doing a bit of a Masters check-in. The first major of the year is just a few weeks away now. There's plenty that we need to discuss as we count down to Augusta 2026. Do not go anywhere.
Do you want an easy way to book tea times in Spain, Portugal and Italy? If yes, then On Tea is your answer. OnTea.com is a reliable and easy-to-use site for tea time bookings. There are 3 reasons why you should use On Tea. 1. You can cancel your tea time up to 48 hours before teeing off, free of charge. 2. You have the payment option Book Now, Pay Later available. 3. On Tea guarantees the lowest online price. Go to ontea.com today and discover 1,000 bookable courses. Use the code BUNKERED26 during checkout to get a discount on your purchase. Valid throughout 2026.
Welcome back, part 2 of this week's Bunkered podcast. Michael and Lewis here. James at home in bed. Diddums. Before the break, asked and answered. Asked you... No, I didn't. The answer... one day I'll get this right. But the answer, if
Not
the
this
answer
day.
is $21,595,564, what is the question? Great suggestions from yourself, Lewis, and all of the listeners that got in touch. All wrong.
No.
The question is, what is the most money a PGA Tour pro has earned without winning a tournament? And that dubious distinction belongs to Denny McCarthy, who moved into top spot at the weekend, moving just ahead of Ben Ann, who previously held the title. Tommy Fleetwood before that, I think it was.
Yeah,
but Ben Ann has now joined the Live Golf League, so is unlikely to overtake Denny anytime soon. Denny's had a good career.
I'd say so. He's earned that much money.
21.5 million is not to be sniffed at, and that's before we count all of the other money that he's made from sponsors, etc. He's been runner-up twice. He's actually lost in playoffs on 2 different occasions on the tour, but alas, a win continues to elude him. So the correct question, what is the most money a PGA Tour pro has earned without actually winning a tournament? Your regular reminder, mums and dads, get your kids into golf.
Buy the big bucket of balls at the driving range.
Always buy the big bucket. Always.
Or in Denny's case, spend lots of time on the putting green. That's his kind of superpower, isn't it?
He's
always
very good.
noted as the best. Maybe a lesson in that, actually, to get really good at driver rather than putter, because you never hear of people who hit the ball miles and don't win, do you?
Drive
Good
forward.
putters.
No, it's not that.
No, it's the other way about.
Anyway, yes, there you go. It is new issue week for Bunkered. Issue 230. 230 is out now, and it is our Masters preview. 32 pages of a Masters preview. We've got exclusive interviews in there with, count them, 4 former champions, 4 men who have slipped their broad shoulders into the green jacket. Not going to tell you who, just pick up the mag instead. We've also got the results of our big driver test for 2026, which Lewis and James have done a phenomenal job on, and we mentioned him before the break, Monty. We also have an exclusive with Monty, looking back at his career in pictures. Really, really good stuff in there, well worth a read. Doing a deep dive on McLaren Golf, why they're a thing, why they're doing this. Lots to enjoy. The mag on sale now from all good newsagents and available to read for free if you have an Apple News Plus subscription through the News Publisher app. So if you have an Apple device, an iPhone, an iPad, a MacBook, whatever it might be, you'll have the News Publisher app. Go into that, look for Bunkered, and you'll be able to read our latest edition. As I say, you need the Apple News Plus subscription to read it, but it's well worth it. Alternatively, you just want a regular subscription, bunker.co.uk/sub offer, and we'll send every edition direct to your door. Just be warned, when it comes to the letterbox, it makes an almighty thud. Do you know why? Because that's the great content, the sheer weight of goodness that those pages contain. Right, Lewis.
Right.
The latest edition of the mag, like I said, is 32 pages of Masters content. We might as well do a few minutes of Masters content right now. 2 weeks on Thursday, just over a fortnight until ball's in the air at Augusta. I do, not to get too morbid, but I do enjoy the opening morning at Augusta, because the honorary starter ceremony, some people think it's saccharine and pointless, and well, you know the type of people I mean on social media who go, that's crap, can we just get the golf started? Can't help but wonder how many more times we're going to see Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player and Tom Watson, particularly Nicklaus and Player. How many more times we'll actually see them hit golf balls? So I always really enjoy it because it's special, and I don't think we should ever...
Particularly at that venue at Augusta National. So
exactly.
Something to savour if you can watch it for sure.
So a lot of storylines going into this particular tournament. For a change, no one's talking about the career Grand Slam.
Yeah, funny
or
that.
to channel Rory from his press conference last year, what are we all going to talk about next year?
That was a rubbish impression.
It was a little bit more like your man that used to host Catchphrase back in the day.
Who's
if you see it, say it. Des Walker, I think it was.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I'll work on it.
Yeah, sure.
What are the big storylines for you going into the Masters?
It's still Rory. It's just for different reasons this time. Last year it was about how incredibly well he was playing and how he was basically winning every single tournament that he was entering. This year, the polar opposite. Had to withdraw from Arnold Palmer, then played the Players, shot like level par over 4 rounds at the Players, was not in contention. It's probably a good thing that he could just get round without injuries being a problem there. So that's a storyline in that we don't quite know where he's at. Like we probably and we probably won't unless he plays the week before, because he's not playing this week. Unless he adds that tournament into the schedule, we probably won't find out how he is until the week of the Masters and how.
I don't think he's going to play.
I don't think he's going to either. Yeah, I agree. So most likely we're not going to know where Rory's at until he speaks to us on, I presume, the Tuesday of Masters week. So that is probably for me the biggest story. But then, like on a more general point, this is probably like the most wide open.
I know you.
No. But
sound the wide open major, Claxon.
I have good news, like good reason for saying this. Like Rory is one side of it where he's not really. Well, he's not. You don't know where he's at, so we can't. Unknown quantity in that sense, and that we don't know if he's fully fit. Don't know how his preparation's clearly been hampered because he's had to withdraw from an event not that far before it. I can hear the Dundee Seagulls out there and they put me off.
Arnold Palmer Invitational, but he did play all 4 rounds at Sawgrass.
Yes, exactly. There's that. Scotty is not at his absolute best.
No, he's not.
And I think he'd probably argue that, well, he's not too worried because he's just had a couple of events where he's finished like outside the top 15.
And has won this
and has
calendar
won
year.
This year. So anyone else, you're thinking, yeah, he's on a really good tear. But Scotty, we have such high like expectations for where he's going to be at, and he's not quite meeting them at the moment. I say that he could very much win this week, wouldn't be surprised. But then I think for me, like the live guys that are playing really well, John Ram and Bryson DeChambeau,
Bryson back to back. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Ram had a win in there like before Bryson as well. Guys who, again, it's hard to say because they're not playing against Scotty, Xander, Rory each week, but they seem to be coming into really good form ahead of the Masters. So I think that is like the biggest thing, is putting them, again, like the way that golf is you don't see all the best players in the world playing against each other apart from 4 times during the year. This is the first time that we're going to see that, and I think we could see some big performances from those guys.
I think the point of difference there for them this year as well is that they're playing 72-hole events.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Well, I guess we'll see how significant that is, but it's a departure from previous years. So they're coming in undercooked. No, they're not. They're just playing different events.
Yeah,
so
I don't think
they're undercooked.
I don't think I quite believe like the undercooked thing in that
they
you're
played
not
5 times.
Yeah, they're
minimum.
playing like the amount of rounds they're playing before it probably isn't factoring in that much. But yeah, there's no excuse really, and there's no
the
reason
events
for
now
any.
finish on a Sunday. They play. They start the tournaments on the Thursday. It mirrors perfectly with what the Masters is going to look like, apart from the fact there's no cut. So they're going to have to pay a little bit more attention on Fridays. But good golf takes care of that. So I think live golfers should theoretically be more competitive purely because of that. But they've been perfectly competitive in majors ever since live emerged. My goodness, everyone thought they wouldn't be. They have been. I just think now the likelihood is that they'll be a couple of percentage points more competitive.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's funny, you're talking about it being wide open and no career Grand Slam stuff to talk about.
Open.
I actually, I'm interested to see this from a career Grand Slam point of view, regardless of the fact that Rory isn't part of it. No one can win the career Grand Slam this year, but at this year. No one can win the career Grand Slam at the Masters this year, but the outcome of the tournament could inform how much a part of the conversation the career Grand Slam is for the remaining 3 majors of the year. Let me explain. So Rory obviously won last year, becomes the 6th golfer in history to win all 4 men's majors at least once. Fine. 3 players in the field for Augusta can move to within 1 leg of the slam by winning the Masters. Xander Schauffele, Brooks Koepka, Colin Morikawa, they've all won 2 different majors. Koepka's got the PGA and US Open, leaving just the Masters and the Open. Schauffele and Morikawa have got the Open and the PGA, leaving just the Masters and the US Open. Were Koepka to win the Masters, aside from the fact what a story that would be given how his year started, the remaining 3 men's majors of the year would each have players in with a chance of completing the career slam. Jordan Spieth, PGA, Scheffler, US Open are already guaranteed a shot at the set. Scheffler wins the Masters, he'll go to the Open looking to complete the set. So there'll be that storyline at the remaining three. However, should Schauffele or Morikawa win, they and Scheffler and Phil Mickelson, if he can somehow qualify, would go to the US Open in June with a chance of completing the Slam. The first instance of multiple players being in with the chance of doing this at the same major since Arnold Palmer and Tom Watson at the 1994 PGA, where Palmer played in his last PGA championship. So for me, yeah, okay, it's not going to be the same storyline. It's not going to be as big of a talking point. But how it unfolds could inform how much of a storyline career Grand Slam is for the rest of 2026.
Yeah, I love that. That's good good stuff. Yeah, I can see that because the guy's Koepka's coming into a bit of form. He played well at the Valspar, didn't he? And we know what he's like when it gets to majors. No reason to think if he gets into contention that he couldn't do well. Schauffele is playing really good, like underrated stuff. I think he's last couple of events he's finished certainly top 10, possibly even top 5 in both of them. Not really had a chance to win, but that's kind of the way that if you're going in that direction, someone of his quality could definitely win the Masters.
And I love the way that Morikawa's trending. Sorry, T word, but he's started the year so well. For him, it all depends on putting. His strokes gain putting is really the biggest single weakness in his game at the moment. Tee to green, phenomenal, but on the green, not at his best. Actually, he's amongst the worst in the PGA Tour at this moment in time, and yet he's still, he's won and he's churning out top 10s consistently. If he's a hot week with a putter, then fit him for the jacket.
Talking about Morikawa, we've not heard about him since he withdrew, have we? He's not played since then.
No. Yeah, it's a
with
good point.
A bad back there, so that's maybe a bit of a concern. Hopefully he's fine. Like, didn't say like he tweaked it, but he didn't play anything after that, so I would expect that he'd be okay. But that's something to keep an eye on. You're right about like his putting. This is something that if you got any kind of demons, or not demons, but any doubt at all in your ability with the putter, Augusta National doesn't seem like the ideal place to be going. So hopefully,
can confirm from personal experience,
you could definitely
the greens are unreal.
Yes,
like as in both brilliant and unlike anything else.
Yes.
So we'll save the sort of first time winner chat and the breakthrough major winner chat for the Masters preview pod in a couple of weeks' time. There's an awful lot of potential first time winners, I think, this year, and how fitting that would be to have a first time winner and at the first Masters since Fuzzy Zeller passed. Zeller, of course, being the most recent player in 1979 to win the Masters on debut. So we'll talk more about that near the time. I am particularly interested right now, though, in some of the guys that are at risk of missing the tournament. Lewis, the standout name there for me right now is Joaquin Niemann. As far as I can tell, he's not in the field right now, is he?
He's not in the field. So last year he got a special invitation. That was in January of last year. So it's not looking good.
No, it's not.
So the only way to kind of get into the Masters now is to be in the top 50, basically in the OWGR this time next week. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you win
at the end of March,
if you win this week, I don't think that gets you in. But if you win next week in the tour, that does get you in.
Believe
is that
so,
right?
yeah.
That sounds. So either way, for Niemann, it doesn't look like he's going to be playing unless there's a last-minute special invite, which would surprise me considering they went out to him and it was one of the Højgaard twins. And I'm not going to guess which. I think it was Nikolai, but I could be wrong. It was certainly a Højgaard. So Niemann looks to be missing out, which is tough. But
it's a tough, especially after he was the main man on Live last year. I think 5 wins.
Yeah,
and obviously that's a lot better than the form previous year that got him an invite. So it stands to reason that if they're doing it based on performances over the last 12 months, then you could make the case for him. I'd honestly be quite surprised if they didn't. Another name that jumps out there, Tony Finau.
Yeah,
that could be get this. This is wild. It could be the first major that Tony Finau hasn't played in 9 years.
Seriously.
So I'm told.
God.
Got a good record at Augusta, with the exception of what he did in his debut when he Well, actually played really well that week after dislocating
his ankle.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't remind me. That's
one
awful.
of the worst things you'll ever see. He's 104th in the world rankings at the moment, and this would be the first time he's missed the opening major of the year since his debut in 2018.
Yeah.
Ricky Fowler, again. I feel like we're starting to forget about Ricky Fowler a wee bit. He's really exiting the consciousness or the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because this slump's gone on too long.
It has. And how old
to the
is
point
he now?
I now even wonder, is it a slump?
Yeah.
Or is this just where he is now?
This is probably just where he is. I think Fowler obviously he won the Players, didn't he? So he's done incredible stuff, but
a long time ago.
He hasn't really
plus.
seemed like a fixture, and certainly in the majors for a while, unless I'm forgetting any times that he was in contention, but it's not springing to mind. And final day, Ricky Fowler probably would spring to mind because of what he wears. So yeah, that is not good. I don't know where he is in the rankings, but I presume he won't be near the top 50. So
runner-up in
that is tough.
The 2018 Masters as well. People forget that when Patrick Reed won. People always remembered that Rory didn't mount the charge. It was Ricky, in fact, that was second. But yeah, he's missed 4 of the last 5 Masters. I suspect it's going to be 5 of the last 6.
I would imagine so, yeah.
Billy Horschel, he's not there at the moment. He's currently 87th in the world rankings, heading into the Houston Open this week. Obviously, his last year has been really beset by injuries, so I think we can cut him some slack. Likewise, Will Zalatoris, but this is one I think that will surprise you, or maybe it won't. We'll find out. Tom Kim.
Really?
Tom Kim is not in the field.
See, he's won, 4 times on tour, Tom Kim? But a long time ago.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, it must be a long time ago.
I now know Tom Kim best from his TGL appearances.
Yeah, that's not good, is it?
That's not good. That's not what you want to be known for.
That's kind of putting him in the bracket with Kevin Kisner. He's the only other golfer I can think who you associate TGL with more than PGA Tour.
Let me put it differently. I've seen him more in a TGL environment this year than I have PGA Tour.
Yep.
Which
that's
no
not what
bueno.
You want. no bueno. Considering that because of time zones, we don't watch TGL, so that's a bit of a problem. Exactly. If you're still seeing him more in that than PGA Tour, which we do watch.
He might not be wholly bothered. Played the Masters 3 times and missed the cut all 3 times.
Yeah.
He's not. That's a lie. He's made the cut in all 3. He was. Yeah, he finished tied 16th in debut, so you can see why he'd want to be in there. But yeah, you have to go back to last year's Pebble Beach AT&T Pro-Am for the last time he had a top 10 finish on tour.
Wow. See, with Kim, talking about slumps and whether that's just where golfers are now, I feel like someone who's won that prolifically, like when he was young and going through this, like he's still a young player. So I wouldn't write him off to get back to kind of the level that he was at. But yeah, not great at the moment for him. That actually doesn't surprise me that much. When you think like Jake Knapp, who is rightly... like he will get into the Masters, but it's only going to be next. So he's currently ranked 42nd in the OWGR.
Yeah,
he's going to get in. Like, there's no way that he can drop out of the top 50. But it's crazy to me that he's not done anything that would get him like into an exemption. Like he's been one of the best players like in the world the last kind of few months, certainly in the PGA Tour. So that's a bit. What I'm getting at is really difficult to get into the Masters, basically. The amount of times that we look at it, and I don't know how many people are in the field right now, but probably less, around about 100. You think less? Yeah. So there you go. Less than 100 people. A lot of them, not a lot, but there's a good chunk that are amateurs. You then have past champions who...
Not as many as you'd think, past champions like the old boys. I think the oldest player in the field this year is going to be Fred Couples.
Okay.
I think there's only 3 guys that are 60 plus.
Right, that are getting in on that. But even still, like you have players who...
wouldn't be there otherwise.
Who wouldn't be there otherwise, and for, like, surely, barring a miracle, are probably not going to be competitive. So... yeah, not an easy event to get into. We can cut these guys some slack for sure.
Yeah. Lots to talk about as far as the Masters goes, and I suspect we're going to be talking about it on every episode of the podcast between now and the opening shots. More on that next week. We'll be telling you about our Augusta National plans, our Masters coverage plans, as I say, on next week's episode, so stay tuned for that. For now, it's time to move on to Podder of Merit, and oh my goodness.
Yes, go on.
What a development. So last week, the standings going into it. Lewis, you were on 14 points. I was on 11. James was on 7. All you needed was uno pointo to win. Anything at all to win. You went with Live, and you were choosing the event. You picked Live Golf South Africa, so immediately eliminating the possibility your guy might miss the cut, improving your prospects. Nice try. You picked Louis Oosthuizen, and I get why, fair enough. Louis finished in a tie for 17th. James picked Joaquin Niemann, who right up until the final hole of Live Golf South Africa was tied with Louis Oosthuizen. Sinks a birdie on the first hole, his 18th, to move ahead of him and finish in a tie for 12th. So it all came down to who I picked.
Yeah.
And I had John Ram, who obviously lost in the playoff to Bryson. So 2 points for yours truly. I really, really, really thought it was going to be 3.
Yeah. Oh, God.
But 2 points for yours truly. 1 for James, none for Lewis. As it stands, Lewis is on 14 points. I am on 13 points. And James is on 8. Permutations for this week.
Oh, there's a lot.
I will say this. James isn't getting a pick. 1, he's not well enough to make a pick. 2, it doesn't matter anyway.
His picks are rubbish anyway.
Yes.
That's why he's so far behind.
He probably would pick someone that's not even playing.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's the Houston Open this week, and he would pick Christy Kerr. No. I think at this point, joking aside, at this point, it's a straight shootout between you and me.
I'm happy with that.
So, permutations, Lewis, as long as your player finishes ahead of mine, you will win.
Yeah.
As long as my player finishes ahead of yours, I will win.
Okay.
Because it's 2 points that I need. So 2 points gets me into 15.
Yeah.
Count back, I therefore win. So whoever's player finishes ahead of the other one wins.
Okay.
Assuming we don't both miss the cut.
Oh,
in which case,
that's a big assumption.
It rolls over to next week, ladies and gents. Likewise, if my player misses the cut but yours makes it, you win regardless.
Yes.
If your player misses the cut and mine makes the cut, I win regardless. It is a straight shootout for the Podder title.
Sudden death.
Yes, sudden death. Fight to the finish. Last man standing.
James has dropped me in it here because listeners who are good at maths will know that if he was in, then there would be other permutations, which would mean that if I beat James as golfer, I would get a point in that. But then that could end up in a tie because you would get to, oh God, it's just a minefield. I think, just stick to a sudden death is the best way to do it.
Don't think I didn't think about all that
when
I decided not to give him a call.
I'm thinking about this right now, and that's confusing.
So, it's the Texas Children's Houston Open. Why? You know what? I can't say that without thinking of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme tune.
Same cadence, isn't it?
Texas Children's Houston Open. I believe it's my honour. So
it is.
This is difficult because I've picked a bunch of these players already.
That's where it gets difficult, isn't it?
I'm going to pick someone who had his best week in the States so far last week. And what looked very similar to like an old school DP World Tour event, considering the players that were playing. There was a lot of ex-DP World guys. We like him a lot on this podcast.
Who this is. Yeah, I know who this
Hits
is.
the ball miles.
Oh, I don't know. No, I know who that is. Someone else.
From England, the man who's going to bring it home for me this week, Marco Penge.
Shit.
Is that who you had?
No, but he was on my list because I think he'll do well for the same reasons that you're picking him. Go on.
I just need to check. to check the list, make sure I haven't already chosen him. But whilst I'm doing that, you tell us who you're going with.
Yeah, we'll keep that list up because I'm pretty sure I've not picked.
Oh,
this.
no!
Oh! I won't be saying who I'm picking.
Week one! Week one! No way! Abu Dhabi, no way! I had Marco Penge then. Oh, no!
Rethink required.
Right, okay. That is not the news I wanted.
No.
And so therefore I am pivoting to choice number 2, a guy we've already mentioned in this part of the show who needs a good week to have any chance of getting into the Masters. Billy Horschel.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, that's
Billy,
thrown you,
come on, Billy.
It?
That is... Oh, come on, Billy. You need to do me a solid here.
Yeah. Well, he's got the motivation to,
Yeah,
like
that's
you said.
it. That's
He's
it.
added motivation now to get you a point that you need.
I'm going to message him.
Bloody hell,
Billy,
yeah, come on. I know you're trying to get into the Masters and everything, but there's something much greater at stake here.
There's not been much to write home about, but he was
No.
tied for 13th at Bay Hill
Okay.
a couple of weeks ago. Tied 68 at Innisbrook in the Valspar. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
Big time. Big moments call for big time players, and I'm going for Billy Big
Marshall's
Bollocks.
one of them.
Yes.
Great. Okay, Billy Big Bollocks. God. Oh,
Who are you
superb.
choosing?
Right, keep that spreadsheet up
Yep.
because I'm pretty sure I haven't picked this player,
Go
but
for
I
it.
think you were picking Penge because the last couple winners have been Minwoo Lee, hits the ball very far.
Yeah.
Jaeger, or known as
Stefan
Stefan Jaeger, known as Jaeger Bomb because of his distance off the tee. Tony Finau's done well there, big hitter. So I'm going with Chris Gotterup for the same reasons. He is a large man who hits the golf ball very long
Well,
distances.
you won't be surprised to learn you haven't chosen him.
Okay, that's good to know.
You have to. I'm just reminded you chose Michael Brennan, but
Yeah, he got disqualified, so I'm not picking him again.
Chris Gotterup's an absolutely phenomenal shout. It's
hope so.
Gotterup versus Horschel. It is Fraser versus McEwen. It is hopefully the final week of this season of Podder of Merit.
Surely is.
It all comes down to this, ladies and gents. So, who's it going to be? Horschel or Gotterup? McEwen or Fraser? We'll find out this week at the Texas Children's Houston Open. Right. We'll finish up with Golf Tenable.
Yeah.
It's me on my own, but let's face it, it mostly always
It always
is.
was.
Yeah.
This might help you
Go
being
for
by
it.
yourself. Right, it's a
Laptop's closed, by the way.
Yeah,
Laptop's
that's
closed.
fine. Yeah, I can see that. No problem. It's a return to form for Golf Tenable. We're keeping
Great.
it topical, but it's Golf Dozenable, I guess. But it shouldn't be an issue for you. I'm expecting you to rattle through these.
Go for it.
Golfers from 12 different nations have won the Masters. Tell me those nations, and you get bonus points for the golfers from there if it's not a nation that's won it loads and loads of
Like the
times.
USA.
Yeah, don't give me that because
Horton Smith.
I've got a train to get. Yes, correct. USA is 1 year out of the gates. Well done.
Canada, Mike Weir.
Canada, correct. Yes.
Fiji,
good.
Vijay Singh.
The big Fijian, famous.
Scotland, Sandy Lyle.
Well done.
Wales, Ian Woosnam.
Yes.
Northern Ireland, or the island of Ireland, Rory McIlroy.
Yeah. Oh, there might be more.
Oh, for God's sake, Lewis.
I know what
Germany.
I've done. I've made a mess.
Bernhard Langer.
Yeah.
Spain, Seve Ballesteros, Jose Maria Olazábal.
Yes.
England, Nick Faldo
Mm-hmm.
and Danny Willett.
Yes.
Argentina, Angel Cabrera.
Good pronunciation.
South Africa, Gary Player, Charles Schwartzel, Trevor Immelman.
Yes.
That's your lot. That's 11.
Good.
Oh, crap. Oh, where else? Australia,
Yes. Well done.
Adam the Dreamboat Scott.
Yes, as he is commonly known. I think it does say that in the
That's
engraving.
his middle name.
Yeah, the
All one word, the Dreamboat.
capital T,
ATS.
capital D. I've completely lost track because I've picked
I've
the
got-
sheet up.
I've got 12. I
Yeah,
think.
but I think you're missing someone's. I didn't have wisdom on my list.
Am I missing somebody?
I think so, yeah.
Right.
You are, yeah,
Countries.
you are. Yeah,
Australia. Ah, I've got it.
go on.
Japan, Hideki Matsuyama.
Yeah, well done. That's it.
You're joking.
I don't think I'm joking. I think you've rattled
That's
through them.
13 countries.
I think that is everyone.
I mean,
got
you have-
Spain.
you've chosen
got-
my
I've
specialist
completely-
subject.
Yeah, I know. It was. See, what I was going to do was I was going to do every nationality that's playing the Masters this year, and that. I mean, you can have a go at that if you want,
Nope.
but that would become farcical because there's so many, and we don't have
And you've
time
got
for that.
the guys from Latin America. I'm sure there's. Oh no, it was last year. There was a guy from Singapore got in through one of the amateur events. I think the guy from the Latin America Championship this year,
Yeah.
was he Colombian or something like that?
Nico Echeverria.
Nico
is
Echeverria,
flying
yeah.
the Colombian flag there.
So nah, I won't be trying that.
Yeah.
I'll stick with the win that I got.
Yeah, well done. Record time as well for golf.
Producer Will
13.
is absolutely buzzing.
Yes,
by how
delighted.
quickly that's taken.
There's no who
That's honestly the easiest golf tennis. That's
sorry.
you've asked me about what would be my mastermind specialist subject.
That could have been one of the questions to get you a point in the Masters. The Masters mind.
Master's mind.
That's good.
Like Master's Chef.
Yeah, Master Chef. Yeah, that could also. I don't quite
there
know
are
how
other
that
TV
would
shows
work.
that start with Master, I'm sure. Let's not think about that right now. Let's save that for next week, Lewis.
Well done.
When we'll be discussing, as I said, a little bit more about the Masters counting down. By that point, we'll be into hours rather than weeks. We'll be counting the countdown in. So I'll look forward to that.
You said Bernard Langer, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, good. Yeah,
I even did it in a nice German accent.
So you did, yeah. I was scrambling because I didn't get far.
Because I said Woosnam and you panicked.
Yeah, because I got to USA in the list and it was alphabetically ordered and I didn't scroll down because so many USA golfers have won it. But I'm pretty sure we're safe, on safe ground there.
Woozy, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Woozy. It's terrible for me.
It's not my fault, it's his fault.
Yeah, no, you got him straight away. Yeah.
Right,
good.
Lewis, thank you very much indeed. Appreciate
Thanks,
your time as always. That was good fun. Hopefully James will be back this time next week. We don't know. We genuinely don't know.
No, I actually don't.
Hope he's all right. Thank you to you for listening. If you've been watching along on YouTube, likewise, thank you. Make sure you jump into the comments. Let us know what you think. Give us your thoughts, your opinions. Were we right? Were we wrong? Which one of the two of us is going to win Podder of Merit this week? Which nationality of Masters champion have I somehow forgotten? Spoiler, none. Let us know your thoughts on this week's episode, please, as always. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is bye-bye for now.